Today's World Mental Health Day. This year's theme is Young People and Mental Health in a Changing World.
Yes, indeed. And the World Health Organization says half of all mental illness begins by the age of 14. But most cases go undetected and untreated. However, there is growing awareness of the importance of building mental resilience among young adults to help them with the challenges of today's world.
According to WHO, the best way to prevent any form of mental illness or distress is by understanding, monitoring the signs and symptoms of issues relating to mental health.
Now, how aware are Nigerians on the importance of mental fitness and good health? Are issues such as depression now taken seriously, or is it still believed to be a disease of the white man?
I think that it's evolving now, from the way it used. Africa used to be one for all for one. A situation where they say that a child is brought up by a community.
By the community.
But the new age of the new Lagos where we live in, with the advent of technology,
everybody's on their own,
becoming
more or
more
less,
selfish as the day goes by.
You can say that again. Our guest is Ehi Iden. He's the CEO, Occupational Health Safety Management. Thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure to be here
this morning. Go ahead.
The culture of stigmatization, the fact that we can watch people walk nakedly on our streets without caring. We just drive past, we don't care, and then we treat them with, oh, don't go near them. He must have done yahoo yahoo. It's a spiritual, fallout of a ritual that failed.
And that might just be the extreme case of mental illness.
Yes. In some cases.
There are cases that don't get that far.
That's right.
But they're there.
What is responsible for this culture?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look at that. But let me start by establishing a benchmark that mental health is the only illness, only disease that's not like open wound that you can put plaster to cover. Yet it exists in the mind. It exists, it's not visible. It can be fed by a third party, but the person suffering from mental health disorder feels it. So when you look at it from this dimension, that's where it's become pathetic, because we don't know how to approach it. If you see a man that has laceration, has a cut, you know what to do for that man.
Exactly.
But the person who's sick inside, and you cannot see the wound, but yet you know he's sick, that's where it starts. Then the culture that we have not been able to appreciate, just like other parts of the world, accept mental health as a condition that can be managed. Our level of spirituality has also not been helpful in this direction. We attribute them to diverse things. And either we say he did something within the community, and a curse was placed on him, or he slept with somebody's wife. We just have our belief system has a way of actually...
We seem to just judge them.
Tagging it, yes. So because of that, we are not able to actually come back, be empathetic towards these people, and see how we actually give them the requisite help they need.
Before we even come to that, when we talk about mental health, illness, what exactly are we talking about? I mean, what is mental health illness?
We're looking at...
Because when you say that the person who suffers mental health within himself actually knows that there's something wrong with him, but he's not able to find help. But what exactly are we talking about?
We're looking at that imbalance in the mental and psychological well-being of an individual. That's basically what mental health is all about.
Okay.
Because when we say psychological, it means it starts with from the head. Like a lot of things actually trigger this.
Oh, exactly. That's a very
It's not
important
limited
one.
to the man on the street.
No.
Someone who is wearing suit and tie can also.
I tell you the record right now. Every one person in 4 persons will suffer mental health issue in his lifetime.
1 in 4.
1 in 4. That's the statistics right now.
That's quite huge.
800,000 people die of mental health issue, that means suicide, every year. And from the word of the WHO DG said that population is bigger than the population of Washington, D.C., Oslo, and Cape Town.
Combined?
No. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
Individually.
Okay.
So when you look at this, these are notable people. It's not isolated to the man who lives in maybe Ubomosho or in an enclave or in a remote area. Notable people also die of mental health issues. The burden, the demand we place on our, but that's why you saw that it said from age 14. That's
14.
that's the age that a
That
child.
is really scary.
I mean, yes, I put something up on my social media platform yesterday, and somebody left me a message this morning. I saw this morning. She's in America. A friend of hers has a child that's 10 years. Now, she's suffering depression.
At 10.
10. So the dynamics are changing every. That's why we tell people, even look at the 14 that WHO set as a standard. This is the year that children are actually migrating from their parents and facing challenges of life. You understand?
Yes.
They are living, and the demand we place on them, when we're growing up, we didn't have such demands.
We just wanted to go to school, pass our
Absolutely.
exams, and eat.
The demand, I mean, my daughter came back from school, she's doing about 17 subjects.
Whoa.
How do you expect a child that's
To
barely
absorb.
11 years to do 17 courses, and you expect her to pass these courses to move to the next class?
Let's quickly explore what really is changing in our world and how it's affecting young adults and their mental health. There's the issue of suicide that we discussed the other day. The fact that 15% of 100 cases, happen here in Nigeria. Drug abuse, technology. How really are these things, affecting us and our mental health?
I think that's where I will also look at. Firstly, let's look at the media issue. There are a lot of things that we didn't have access to while growing up because they were never part of our culture. Or communal living. But because we've been so exposed to media right now, what happens? I mean, we didn't hear of suicide when we were growing up. What happens in the US? Somebody jumped down from the cliff and committed suicide. A Nigerian wants to try. Somebody wants to try because he saw it. So that's where we have to also have what you call gatekeeping of media, information that you actually pass across to children who are still little, who cannot process and understand the right from wrong. You see issue of drugs. We didn't have drugs here.
Yeah.
But now everybody wants to get high. The highest we actually had maybe was Indian hemp, and when you're caught with Indian hemp, the community gather and beat you. But now Indian hemp is everywhere. Have tramadol in the hands of people, and mental health issue hasn't started here. It's going to get worse. The way we're going, if we don't tame this space, we have a big problem at hand. We're going to have what you call mental health epidemic.
How do we now begin to even
That's
tame
where
it when
all stakeholders have to rise up to the challenge and must be led by government. Let's begin to actually make people understand that mental health is a condition that can be managed. I'll give an example. Look at it from even how we set up mental health department in hospitals.
Yeah.
And coming to the stigma issue, it's kept in one end.
corner?
So when you see me walking to that end, what comes to your mind?
Something is wrong with that.
Yaba left.
Yaba
So,
left.
yeah, see, Yaba
and
left,
when we say
you know?
Yaba left, it's usually derogatory.
Of course. We isolate a hospital, mental health, psychiatric hospital. So those that have mental health issues don't want to go into that place. Because when they are seen going in, it means something that, this guy must be up to something. So why are we not having gynecological clinic, being as well say, this is a gynecological clinic? But why mental health? We have to start by redesigning the whole architectural framework.
Before we even come to that, very quickly, what exactly are the levels or kinds of mental health? And really, can a person who has suffered mental illness actually be treated 100% and function as a normal human being? I know of schizophrenia, and all of that.
Bipolar,
But
all of them.
yes,
Yeah.
bipolar.
Polar.
I was at a discussion the other day, Nifemi, and somebody mentioned a top, female politician, and he said she actually has bipolar. And I'm like,
Really?
what?
I just mentioned to you just now that notable names, notable people, because it's not just subject to a man who wasn't able to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No, notable people, because society is changing. Technology is putting a lot of us. I will always say to us here that the more technological advancement that we reach or achieve,
the more prone
the more
people are.
prone we are.
I'm
to
wondering
health
if
issues.
in 30 seconds you can
Yeah.
tell us what to look out for. What are the early warning signs as
Exactly.
regards depression, mental illness, and all of that?
Okay, look at a man who has been very active in the workplace. All of a sudden, he's drawing back, he's declining.
Withdrawn.
Watch out. And that's why we look at HRO, you must have good knowledge of industrial psychology and mental. He's withdrawing. A child that was very active before, is no longer active, is now reclining. A child that used to be brilliant before in class, it's no longer coming in top position, is now taking the back seats.
Yeah.
A child that used to be so versatile. Look at the underlying factors. Either he must have been assaulted, must have been abused. Things are happening that need, because mental health doesn't just come out and say, oh, mental health has there
It's
is
a
what
gradual, it's a
yes,
build-up.
There's a build up and there's a root cause.
You were going to talk about government, role. Of course, there's a mental illness policy that's been in place since 1993. I wonder how effective really that has been.
That's the problem we have. I'm happy that ILO and WHO are taking it right now. Before mental health could be classified as an occupational disease, it took time. It wasn't even classified. But I'm happy the way they're pushing it right now. Government has a role to play. All the stakeholders engage every state.
That's right.
Let's have a mental health framework. What do we look out for? Even the healthcare professionals, let's retrain them, because most times they don't understand what to look out for.
Yeah.
And you know where it's even pains? There's a report I saw yesterday that was done by HSC executive in the UK. Healthcare workers are more overdrawn. They are suffering from mental health even more in the work population right now. So
I just
of
have
course.
to peg
so
it
you
here.
see the issues.
Wow.
Ehi Iden, CEO of Occupational Health and Safety Management. We hope that attention is drawn to this issue and that we can tackle it head on. Because the issue of government attention is also key.
It is key. Okay, let's go.
Thank you
That's
so
what
much for
we're
joining
hearing
us.
from
My
our
pleasure.